Oops. What is up, guys? Here for another video. Just kidding, we're not doing that. Just gonna go for a little drive. So I guess the park was under construction or something. So I guess we're on a mission to find somebody's house. All right. So pretty much out of laziness, I skipped the park and just decided to film right outside my house in the cul-de-sac. So I guess we'll get right into it. Basically, my car is a 2016 Ford Mustang V6. It is in deep metallic blue, deep impact metallic blue, something like that. The only package on it that I got was, it's called the 051A package. It just has upgraded wheels and it has the fog lights, and that's pretty much all includes in that package. Other than that, it's just basic Mustang, not much to it. It has a automatic, which I know is going to be another thing that people are going to hate on. But the way I see it, when I bought this car, I didn't want something. I didn't have a manual before. I didn't, the only thing I was used to was an automatic, so I just went with what I was used to. But honestly, I look back on it now and I kind of regret not getting a manual because I feel like it would be a lot more fun to drive around. But luckily, it's not really much of a hassle. I don't have to worry about it. It's just, something to get me around. Also, please excuse how dirty this car is. It definitely needs a wash. Even though I washed it like a couple days ago. That's one thing about the color, is you can see every little speck of dust on this thing. It's ridiculous. More about this car is that it has 23,000 miles on it, and I bought this car only about a year and 4 months ago, I believe, because I bought it in April, the end of April of 2016. So I bought it brand new. It had 45 miles on it when I got it, and I bought it from my local dealership, Tompac Ford. They helped me out a lot getting this car. Basically, how the story goes is that I was in the market for one of these. I didn't really know what I wanted exactly, but I knew I wanted an automatic and just a V6 because that's all I could afford at the time. So don't hate about the whole V6 thing, because it's basically it's the cheapest one, and I'm not about to spend 40 grand on a GT, so no thanks. But anyways, getting into the story of how I got this car, basically, is that 2 years ago, I started saving for a car. I was working pretty much a minimum wage job. I didn't know what car I wanted at all. I just knew I wanted some type of sports car. And from then on, I pretty much saved as much money as I could for about 8 months. At the time, I was only driving a 2003 Honda CR-V, which was my dad's, which he passed down to my sisters and to me, so that was my daily at the time. I definitely wanted a change of pace. I wanted something sporty, something that was fast, but not ridiculously fast, because, I mean, I'm just a kid, and even if I got something ridiculously fast, it would be a lot to handle. So basically, I saved up a bunch of money for about 8 months. I was working at a retail job for a good amount of time. I was working there quite often, and then I realized that I needed something better, something that pays more. So I got a different job. I worked as a valet parker at the local casino around here, and that definitely helped with saving money because that paid a lot more than I even expected. But basically, that job helped me progress my way to buying this car, and I owe that job a lot because it helped me get to where I am now. The final numbers, I should say, that I paid for this car was, I paid a total of $27,300. Everything combined, like fees, everything, that was the total price. So quite a lot of money for just a brand new car, but in my eyes, I became completely obsessed with this car once I found it. I was like, okay, I knew right away that's the car that I wanted. I knew it was definitely a stretch because it was a lot more money than I thought. It was a lot more out of my price range that I was looking for. But I knew in the end that this was the car I wanted. This was my dream car. So from then on, it was pretty much just trying my hardest to get this car. I saved as much money as I could, and finally in April, I was looking, and I finally had all the money that I needed, and I was looking, but I was having very little luck with trying to find the right car that I wanted. And it ultimately came down to just going to the dealership and asking me what they could do for me. And they were very helpful. They helped me out a lot with trying to find the right car. I wasn't really expecting to buy a new car. I really wanted to buy a used car because obviously depreciation kicks in. So I was aiming for a used car, but a new car just happened, I guess. So once the numbers came down to what I wanted, everything worked out perfectly. I was very satisfied with what the numbers I got. The end interest rate that I picked was, it's 4.9 interest rate. So ultimately I pay about $250 a month for this thing. That's just the car payment. And for insurance, I got pretty lucky and I only pay about $120 a month for this. So in my eyes, I got extremely lucky getting this car, because it's like, I know kids nowadays who own like WRXs and Mustangs themselves, and they pay way more than I do. But I know you guys are all thinking like, oh, your parents probably co-signed, or something stupid like that. No, my parents did not co-sign. I signed it on myself. I did all the financing myself. I pay for it myself. I don't have any help from my parents. So I pay for this car completely. Gas, insurance, modifications, just everything. So if you guys are all thinking like, oh, he's just a rich kid, like his parents pay for it. No, I actually pay for this all myself. Have been for 1.5 years now. So a lot of you guys are probably thinking like, oh, that's how you did it, but how can I do it now? So the biggest thing I can probably tell you is that you need to save your money. Like, that is the top priority when it comes to buying a brand new car or just a nice car in general. You need to save money, okay? You need to have that self-control to put away money in a savings account put it in a jar in your room, something like that. Just save money and have the self-control, because in the end it is unbelievably rewarding to purchase something like this. It's just a great feeling when you buy something that you worked so hard for. And I mean, anyone can honestly do it. I mean, a lot of people say that, you hear that everywhere you go. Any YouTube video like this, they'll be like, oh, anyone can do it. Well, seriously, anyone can do it. You just need to have the self-control. Like, when you go out, you don't need to buy like a bunch of shirts or a bunch of shoes or whatever. Just have self-control and just think of the end product, because I know for a fact it will be worth it in the end, because it always is. Alright guys, that pretty much does it for this video. If you guys have any more questions about this card, just let me know. I'll get back to you. So, thank you for watching.